if necessary. Okay, let's begin. Okay, here we go. I arrived in Guatemala on the Day of the Dead, November 1st. Did I arrive in Guatemala?
Yes, I arrived
Yes,
in
I
Guatemala
arrived in Guatemala.
on November 1st.
Where did I arrive?
Guatemala. I arrived in Guatemala
right? I arrived
on the day
in
of the dead,
Guatemala.
November 1st.
I arrived in Guatemala on the Day of the Dead, November 1st. Who arrived in Guatemala on the Day of the Dead?
Me and they.
Well, me, AJ.
Arrived
right?
in Guatemala
I arrived
on
in
the
Guatemala
day of the
on the
dead,
Day of the Dead,
November 1st.
November 1st. Did I arrive in Guatemala on November 3rd?
No. I arrived in
No, I didn't arrive
on the
in Guatemala
day of the dead,
on November 3rd.
1st.
I arrived in Guatemala on November 1st. What day did I arrive in Guatemala? I arrive on November 1st.
Guatemala.
Well, Guatemala, right? I arrived in Guatemala, on November 1st. I arrived in Guatemala on the Day of the Dead, November 1st.
Yes.
I was curious about this holiday. So, I arrived in Guatemala on the Day of the Dead, November 1st.
I
was curious about this holiday.
So
I went to the cemetery to see what was happening. Was I angry about this holiday?
No. I'm curious about
I wasn't angry about this holiday. Was I sad about this holiday?
No, I'm curious about this
holiday. I wasn't sad about this holiday. I was curious about this holiday. Who was curious about this holiday?
Me and they.
Well, I was, AJ. I was curious about this holiday. What was I curious about? The holiday, right? I was curious about the holiday.
Holiday.
Which holiday was I curious about? Which holiday was I curious about? The Day of the Dead. I was curious about the Day of the Dead. Was I curious about the Day of the Dead? Or was I curious about Christmas? I was curious about the Day of the Dead, of course. I was curious about the Day of the Dead, so I went to the cemetery to see what was happening. Where did I go?
Cemetery.
To the cemetery.
I went to
the cemetery. Did I go to the cemetery or did I go to the airport?
I went to the
I went
cemetery.
To the cemetery.
Cemetery.
Who went to the cemetery?
Me and they. I went
me,
to
right?
the
AJ.
cemetery.
Right? I went to the cemetery. Where did I go? To the cemetery, right? I went to the cemetery.
November 1st.
When did I go to the cemetery?
November 1st.
Oh, November 1st, the Day of the Dead, right? I went to the cemetery on the Day of the Dead, November 1st.